say. It's day 3 of the Democratic National Convention.
Are you enjoying every minute of it?
No. I actually went to sleep during Joe Biden.
Oh, really? When he was yelling and screaming and acting like a freak?
My question is, where was that Joe Biden at the debate?
Well, you figure they wanted to give him one last dose of the special medicine, just in case that was the last dose.
I mean, that's the Joe Biden that should have shown up at the debate. At least he was awake and was coherent.
Well, I thought it was pretty entertaining. What did he have to say? Nothing, which was amazing. All I did was yell and complain and whine and cry and talk about... There were a couple of statistics that he quoted, and I would like to address these statistics now.
I'm glad you are, because it was on my agenda.
It's on my list, too.
Well, let me tell you about this. Oh, wow, I forgot we're on the radio. I almost said it. Anyway. All right. So he wanted to point out that the greatest cause of the death of children in the United States is gun violence. More than car wrecks, more than cancer, and more than disease. Well, gentlemen, I would like to fact check that real quick, and I would like to point out that that is not the case at all. There's also another fun little demographic that we need to point out. When they use a lot of the statistics for children gun-related deaths or shootings, etc., they use a really interesting dynamic. Are you ready for what that dynamic is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
They include 18, 19, and 20-year-olds in the inner city. Well, that's interesting.
Well, that helps pad the number, doesn't it?
That pads the number greatly, because that's the group that's your most number one notorious for getting into rolling gun battles, drive-by shootings, drug deals gone bad, vandalism, shot by the police. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know what else is in that statistic?
Well, what else is in that statistic?
If there was a shooting within a block, even though there may not have been a gun discharged where he's at, if there was one discharged within so many minutes within a block of it, or 2 blocks, something like that, they count that as a gun-related.
Yes, isn't that interesting? Yes, they are padding the numbers. So he, heavily went down a path of absolute lies, and the crowd of communists went wild. Oh, it was amazing. Man, I sat there listening to this crap and listening to him spouting nonsense nonstop for the entire speech.
Did that give you a headache?
Well, I would say that it gave me some mental issues, but I realized that that's not contagious. So I was okay. I just ate my gummies and
the entire convention, watching it, gives me a headache, because listening to them, it's like a bunch of cackling hens in a yard. They made the entire thing about race. It's all about black. It's all about black. No policies, no nothing, just because black.
Which is amazing, because there's no one who's black running, so that's really kind of fun. I very much enjoy that aspect of it. I thought Michelle Obama, boy, or Michael, I thought that...
Did you see did you see her Adam's apple?
I did. I noticed that quite a bit.
She sits there and she says that her family basically didn't want anything to do with rich people because they didn't trust them. And then I think to myself, so you became a rich person. How does that make sense? That's a head scratcher.
Well, their family wasn't bad off to begin with, because look where she went to school.
Exactly.
Poor families don't go to Harvard.
No. I thought it was quite interesting. I then thought watching the Frou Frou Frary, Tim Waltz, prance out on the stage.
What in the world was
amazing. According to the Washington Post, or it may have been the Times, which is the lefty one?
Post.
According to the Post,
I think
he represents the new type of masculinity. Boy, I wish we were on the in-between time. I'd have an opinion on what I'd say
I'm going
about
to pass on that.
that. Yeah, I'm just going to skip right over it. You're welcome.
Wow.
Watching him skip out there.
Yeah, and then you've got dear old Pete Buttigieg, or whatever his name is. We got him. Have we seen the... Man, I almost just worded that not good either. Have you seen the pictures of him with his adopted baby and his udder device he straps on?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you need to check that one out. It's fantastic. It
proves a man can breastfeed.
Yeah, it's really something. It's something. And then I like listening to the crowd. They keep interviewing people at the crowd, the very small crowd, and they interview them. And what you have is all these people that are like, one of the reporters said, "So why are you here?" And the guy is like, my name is Joaquin, or some off-the-wall weird kind of crap like that. And before he even says anything else, and I identify as they, them, and my husband and his wife are here together. And, you know, since we got into a poly something or other relationship, and my wife's new lover, he's actually African American, and now I've decided that I'm going to vote. I'm like, you can't make this crap up. You guys are the biggest freaks known to man. Like, could we please bring back the gladiator games? Please.
Well, I just thought they were the biggest bunch of hypocrites.
They're such trash.
Wow.
It's just amazing to watch. And what's interesting, so apparently the Trump administration, since, or the Trump campaign, I should say, since Kamala hasn't released anything relating to what her plan is, they went through her website and they put together her plan for her. It's pretty amazing. You guys should be sure to go out and read that.
Well, yeah. She's banning all oil exploration. She's banning fracking.
Yes.
She's going to legalize abortion
Yes.
at the national level.
Correct.
Let me see. What else was there?
Executive order, gun control.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary.
Oh, it's what they wanted.
And they keep, but here's what's got me chapped. They keep tying Trump to Agenda 2025. He has not once come out and said he supports that. He did come out and say there are some good points in it.
Well, there were some good points on it. I think it's interesting that even though they're talking about this Agenda 25, what's the agenda that Harris is actually following there? CT, you and I have talked about it.
So have we.
What is it now? 35?
Probably.
UN Agenda, whatever.
Yeah,
Agenda
I don't know.
21 was renamed to.
There's two of them.
Yeah. One thing that made
Matter of
me...
fact, we did a whole show on it.
Yeah, we did. You know, one thing that really made me happy this week, I very much enjoyed that that 880,000 jobs suddenly reappeared.
You mean unemployed people?
Yeah, the unemployed people that just disappeared, and now suddenly they're back.
Yeah.
And those inflation numbers came out, and it's not 3%.
Yeah.
And then there was something else that I just thought was absolutely amazing. Oh, I remember what it was. Remember where the UAW came out and they were suing Elon Musk and Trump for voter intimidation?
Yes.
Wasn't it amazing that then 2,500 jobs got cut at Dodge because they ended the Dodge Ram? And then General Motors has now announced 1,500 jobs related to their green vehicles is gone. Huh. And those aren't even on the new job report yet. Congratulations.
And remember, this report will get updated again in February. This jobs report. This is just They're 2 years behind on getting them all updated. So you're liable to see another 800,000 jobs gone.
Well, it was really funny because we talked about this too, was the claim of jobs for one thing and the unemployment. What they didn't take into account or tell you was the majority or the percentage of those, the high percentage of those jobs were actually people working 2 and 3 jobs.
Correct.
The same people.
Yep.
And if you're working a minimum wage job and you want to get ahead, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
But hey, you help the jobless numbers because for every one person that takes 3 jobs, they get to count 3 new jobs. Isn't that great?
Fantastic.
Boy, I was watching this video that the Small Business Owners for Kamala put out. And there were all of these minority groups getting on there talking about how fantastic the last 4 years have been, how good their business is, how sales are up and wages are up. I was waiting for it to say at the end, not actual situation, paid actor. I guess they left that part out because there is no small business owner who has made more money in the last 4 years. Not a single one.
No.
Anywhere. They are so full of crap. Without any kind of doubt whatsoever. And that is what we've seen time and time again out of the last 4 years. And now they're running around parading themselves. They've had this fantastic economy. Wonderful things have been done. Really? What are those? Can you name them? Because nobody else can.
A lot of green stuff.
Funny, all of the green companies are going out of business. I wonder why.
Yeah. Look at all the companies that bought into that $20 minimum wage that are going out.
Well, here's what's funny. You go into a lot of these fast food restaurants now, McDonald's, and the biggest ones that I've seen so far is McDonald's and Taco Bell.
Yep.
And you don't order from a person anymore. You order at a kiosk thing, and they're eliminating jobs.
Well, I have a double side for this. Now, it ticks me off because I just won't go there. But here's the other side. It makes me happy that all of these losers that were crying for, I want $20, now don't have jobs. That thrills me. Because you know what I want to see? I want to see places be, because it's places that are being forced to pay their employees this higher wage because the state is band-aiding it for a new minimum wage. And then the company is going, well, guess what? Now we only need 3 people where we used to have 12.
Yeah, I want to see your tears.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Bye. I want to hear you crying in the streets because you can't get a job. Because you did this and then you killed your own job and now you're mad because everything costs more.
Yep.
And now your welfare doesn't go as far and your food stamps don't count for as much. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. It really makes me happy. I mean, it's the little things, and suffering among the ultra-left really does make me quite happy. Because they're too lazy to go do it for themselves, so they expect government to always be a handout for them. And then once they get the handout, then they realize that, oh crap, now that I've got the handout, I can't get anything else. I'm at the same level I was before. It's just like Missouri has an upcoming constitutional amendment in November to keep increasing the minimum wage and just keep jacking it up over the next 3 years. Well, I can tell you, most businesses I know of are going to cut employees.
California is doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you have a rate increase, you can guarantee your workforce is going to halve.
Pretty much.
I mean, minimum wage was put in to keep the greedy business owner from taking advantage of school kids.
Stupid.
It was actually part of the child labor laws.
So stupid.
And that was to keep them from taking advantage of kids that didn't have any skill and got them a chance to get a skill.
Is there really a need for child labor laws now?
No.
No. Now, if I want to work my grandson to death, I should be allowed to.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
I mean, I worked the farm like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Though you have to remember the time when the child labor laws came into being. And during that time is when we started pushing towards what we didn't call in the United States, but it was the beginning of socialism in the United States. Everybody forgets that while the rest of the world was going through this giant socialist revolution, Red October and the Spanish Revolution, the French Revolution, all this stuff, the U.S. was doing it just in a slower fashion. We couldn't just jump in and embrace communism, but what we did is now we took kids that used to go get a job and go do something with their lives. Now we're going to keep them locked up in a school forever and ever and make them stupid. Because as Mark said, you can never conquer the U.S. with communism, but you can slowly insert it into the teaching system of the Americas, and within just a few generations, you will have a communist nation. Well, we're just about there.
Yep.
It's not far from it now.
Yeah, and what they indoctrinate them so much in that school system.
Oh, without a doubt. And even the ones that
And
aren't...
let's enable this. Enable the craziness by allowing them to wear their little tails in their ears and putting a litter box in the bathroom and
Well, just
all
making
kinds of
them generally
craziness.
soft is the problem.
Oh, big time.
I mean, come on.
Well, we had to get rid of that red bombardment ball.
Got rid of the paddle.
What you got rid of is hard people doing hard stuff. And now you just have an entire country
Real
made
people
of...
doing real stuff.
Yeah, now you just have an extremely soft country
Yeah.
doing a bunch of soft things. Well, that's really cool. That's going to work out really well. After the... this last week, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Russian president made a pretty hardcore decree. Did you guys hear this?
Oh, are you talking about the allowing
Yeah.
asylum?
So basically, and I read into it a little further than what was just on like the news front website. Basically, what Putin has done is he has said that anybody who comes from a Christian land, okay, so you know what he's making sure he doesn't become what Europe has become, who doesn't agree or feels persecuted by the beliefs of their country as they've embraced new leftist ideology, may come to Russia with temporary citizenship for 4 years until they can establish themselves in the country, and then they can go down the path to become a permanent citizen.
Okay.
Secondarily, if you bring a valuable skill to the country, it will fast-track your ability to become a full-fledged citizen.
Okay.
Okay? But then, and what they've left out, is he quoted, and I couldn't believe he quoted this, he quoted Reagan's City on a Hill. Now, what's significant about this is Reagan was referring to the Soviet Union when he made that speech. And what Putin said is, just as the United States and the West was once the city on a hill, the light to the world, they have now become a den of depravity, and Russia seeks to fill the mantle as the new city on the hill, the new light, the new beacon of righteousness throughout the land. Well, what we see so far out of Russia, that is not wrong. You don't see them having nonstop pride festivals in their schools.
Oh, no, you don't do that out in the open.
You don't have these giant trans rallies and convincing everybody to go cut off their junk and switch genders. So I'm going to be honest. As much as Americans want to be like, oh my gosh, those Russians, they may actually be onto something. Sorry, guys.
It's funny you bring that up because outside the DNC, did you see the Planned Parenthood RVs out there giving everybody vasectomies and abortions?
Oh, yeah, the mobile abortion clinic.
Just Good way to eliminate your future voters, isn't it?
I don't think they're concerned. They know that, they just pop out of the ground with green energy.
Green energy.
Green energy.
And pretty soon we'll all be eating Soylent Green.
Ooh.
Soylent Green.
Which reminds me, what were they eating at the DNC there, bud?
Maggots.
Maggots.
A group of, actually it was the pro-Muslim, anti-Nazi ladies, when I read further into it, that went in there and the pro-Islam deal that went in there and dumped tons of maggots in the...
Well,
they knew what they were feeding.
I mean, that seems like a pretty Islamic thing to do. Good job. Yeah. Well,
what's crazy about that is I wonder how many of those ladies were lesbian, and the fact of they don't realize that the Islamic that they're trying to justify and defend want them dead.
I don't think they care. Because they're that stupid. These are the same people that think green energy is a real thing. They're idiots.
It's true. That is very true.
And it's just the same group of idiots we keep seeing over and over and over again.
I would have no ground to argue that at all.
And it's just, we keep seeing them in just different manifestations of the same idiots doing the same crap over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the governor of Kentucky talking about J.D. Vance and his hardline abortion policies?
No, I missed that.
Oh, there was a huge story. Apparently, he was complaining about Vance on some talk show, and was talking about how he has no idea, blah, blah, blah. And he really hoped that someone would go and sexually assault someone related to him. That way they would have to raise that child since they were so anti-abortion. Vance lost his freaking mind. It was fantastic. I believe if we were in a much better time, I believe Vance would have challenged the governor to a duel. And it would have been fantastic. Then he would both be the senator and the governor at the same time. But nevertheless, that is what the left does.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
That'd be cool, though.
I mean, last time I don't know, spoils dictate you get to keep what you claim.
I'm going to give you that.
But,
I don't really know where there's a clause that says you can't hold a state office and a federal office.
I don't believe there is.
Not that I'm aware of.
But
I mean,
you can't hold two federal offices at the same time.
No, but I don't believe there's any reason you could not be the vice president and the governor of a state at the same time.
So one of the things, and I found this interesting, and Dodd, you're going to appreciate this research that I did. One of the things that everybody's always complaining about from the left is the Christian ideology that the country was founded on Christianity.
Oh, this should be fantastic.
Well, let me give you the evidence that it was founded on Christianity.
Absolutely.
Shall I?
Oh, please.
Let's go back and let's look at the actual state bylaws, the state of each one of the 13 colonies, shall we?
Oh.
Each one of them stated that you could not hold office unless you declared your faith. All 13 of them, 11 of them being Protestant, 2 being Catholic.
Correct.
But every single one of them said you could not hold public office unless you declared your faith. Am I right or wrong?
You are correct on that.
So therefore, at the founding of this great country, or this once great country, I corrected, of this once great country, it was founded on Christianity.
Yes.
And the only thing that the separation of church and state does is to ensure that the same thing doesn't happen that happened in like Rome.
Which would be the preference of one over another. And that
Correct.
Because everybody gets it all freaking confused.
Yeah.
And what it was pointing out, what the founders' greatest fear was, is that the new Americas would be ruled by the Vatican.
Correct.
Which is the whole reason why the Church of England exists, and it's why England is Protestant. So
Correct.
they wanted to ensure that when the Vatican saw a new country, they didn't take a hold of it like they had all of the kingdoms of Europe. So what that was, is it was pointing out that there would be no representative of the Vatican in office. That was one of the biggest parts, because if you remember, every kingdom that fell under the rule of the Pope had a bishop assigned to the court.
To the king, yes.
And that was very important to make sure.
He was actually on that king's
Yes.
table, of
Yep, he was on the council.
privy table.
Yes. And that was what that has to do with. Now, you guys have twisted it and perverted it and turned
Correct.
it into something else, but you're absolutely wrong. Now,
It does not mean that you cannot have Christianity in government
No, it doesn't.
or the principles of its laws.
No, because where we're going next is with the law. So most of American law we can attribute back to John Locke and the philosophy of John Locke, correct?
Correct.
I'll give you that.
And John Locke's philosophy comes from Blackstone's commentary, which is old school British law. Old school British law is based on what? Old school British law was based on that which was acceptable according to the teachings of Scripture to be whether or not it was legal and right to do. And that's why you have a lot of your different kinds of laws, where there were many laws back once upon a time that were a pretty solid death sentence, because they were simply going, these are crimes that are so bad that even the Old and New Testament say these crimes are just horrible. We're going to uphold that. Okay, fine. Oh, you've damaged someone's property. This is how you make amends for that. This is how you pay for it. So if you follow it all the way back to Blackstone, you then find out that the very principle that they used was the principle that you now detest. The idea of the jury trial, the jury of peers, actually goes all the way back to the Old Testament book of Leviticus, where if a man was charged with a crime or of something, then others who knew him would testify to his innocence or guilt based on the information given. Does that not sound like a jury trial?
Yep.
It does, except for the fact that you are no longer... It is no longer a jury of your peers.
No, it is most certainly not. That's because the word peer is misused in modern America.
Agreed.
Without question. Well, hopefully...
Sorry, I just wanted to go into that for a minute.
I like that. That's good stuff.
I was diving into that because I got tired of listening to it, and I thought, I'm going to go into this for a second and really get in, because I know it's there. But if you go back to the original charters...
It's all there.
Of each of the 13, it's right there. There's your basis right there. Because if you remember, at one time, we were a republic.
And
those state laws stood.
Correct. And what's interesting is if you read in your Declaration of Independence, if you notice at the very end of the Declaration of Independence, if you ever read it, you'll notice that the end of that is not a statement. The end of the Declaration is actually a prayer, because it reads, "We appeal to nature and nature's God." That's relevant, and you have to understand contextually what that phrasing means. And it's kind of a big deal. So your very solid founding document affirms what all of us have said now for 2 centuries.
So if you take that, ending in a prayer, what does that actually mean? It actually means that the words that preceded it were the founding fathers telling the great architect of the universe, this is what we are doing. They are actually not just speaking to you, the people, they were speaking to God.
They were.
With that document. Am I?
No, that's pretty solid there.
Yeah.
And they're going, hey, this is what we're going to do.
It's if you really get into it, it's really cool.
Well, what's interesting is you can see noticeably when the attempt to destroy that narrative took place. That narrative started to be destroyed in about the mid-'80s because that is when the unbacked idea came out that all of the founders were deists. Hardcore. It was very solidly stated. And it was a few people that started this idea, and then it spread. And of course, like anything else, if it's a crazy idea, the leftist education system grabs onto it. So that's what you have. But then if you actually look at the writings of your founders, of your original people, and you read what they had to write, obviously they don't project themselves in the way that they were presented as being deist, because as they talk about it, as they talk about their view of the world, of the country, of the purpose, there's nothing to suggest that they are deist in any way. And you go, okay, you have two guys that there's no real solid, we're not really sure what they're up to.
I would say Jefferson being one of those. He's a little questionable.
I
on
think
a couple
Jefferson
of things.
was just a little kooky.
He was, because you think about you think about the Jefferson Bible, for instance. A little weird concept there, but I understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Well, and what's funny is they always try to use the Jefferson Bible as the rationale behind
yeah,
it.
but it's not.
No, it's not. And they're like, wait, stop. That's like when people today buy inspirational quote books where it's just random pieces of, I'm having a bad day. So you go look up the bad day section and it drops you a Bible verse. Okay, whatever. Doesn't really mean you're a deist. Sorry.
I'm not sure
Weird.
how that has anything to do with being a deist.
Well, that was the argument that was made with the Jeffersonian Bible. Because I remember reading about it pretty hard that they were like, no, he doesn't actually believe it. He just pulled these little sections out and created the Jefferson Bible.
He just took out the red in order to basically take it down to law and...
Yes.
yeah, that's it.
It's a very...
Parable in law. That was
Right,
basically
that's what he wanted to read. That's what he wanted to read about. Okay, whatever. Who cares?
It's not like he distributed it.
No.
You know? It's not like he put it into print at the printer and distributed it.
No, he took a document and made it for himself, and you want to attribute it to all things, which is weird.
But that's what they do, though. They grab a hold of one little simple seed, and they plant that sucker, and they water the heck out of it.
Oh, big time. It's somewhat wild. So as we've been watching the hyper crazy events of the DNC, what has been your favorite part, Mr. Lee? If you had that one moment that you would give the Academy Award of Best Acting to, what's it gonna be?
The best acting award had to be Barack Obama so far.
Oh, tell us about it.
Can't hear you.
You know, it had to be Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
Yeah. Just, he came out, and he just, it was just constantly ripping Trump. He was just saying, Trump bad, orange man bad, orange man bad. And, that didn't work the last time.
They mentioned Trump
More than they mentioned Kamala.
300 some odd. I don't know. There was actually a count of everything, and I
Yeah.
was amazed at how many times they mentioned the word Trump. 200 times more than they mentioned the word economy. I mean, so that tells you where their head's at. They're
Yeah.
more worried about that than they are the actual problems that are going on.
CT, what was your lovely thing that you just thought was the best?
Ooh. Probably Michelle. Probably Michelle. There's just well, gosh, man, that's hard. Oh, no. Let's go back to the first night.
Yes.
What is it? President and whatever CEO of the NAACP or the president and CEO of this group. And first of all, I'm thinking to myself, how are you a president and a CEO of a organization? It's not a business, it's an organization. Okay, that was first. But the second part is the fact that all they did was spoke nothing about the economy, about inflation, about nothing. They made the entire thing about black America getting a black president, not just a black president, but a black female president, how empowering that is. The whole thing was about nothing other than race.
I'd say it was a pretty good performance. I will agree with you.
Oh, and not only that, but what did they do? They wheeled Jesse Jackson's old ass out there in a wheelchair onto the stage. Dude didn't know where he was. He's waving at everybody, but he didn't know nothing.
Yep. I thought it was...
Way to use an old man the same way you used Biden.
I love how everybody's coming out and they're mentioning Biden. Oh, we love you, Joe. Blah, blah. You guys just straight up Caesared Biden.
Dude.
Like...
hardcore.
Seriously. I wonder, do you think Biden said, even you, Nancy?
At two, Nancy? At two, Pelosi?
I just went, this is absolutely crazy town. Without a doubt. And as I was watching those different parts of it, I just went, wow, this is actually nuts. And what's funny is to sit there and just halfway fact check anything they say, and very quickly you find out 90% of it is just made up. It's made up numbers, it's made up statistics, it's made up things, but then they don't actually have anything that they're actually talking about. You know, when it's like, well, Kamala, you've been in office for the last 4 years. What have you done? Crickets.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I love how they sat there and said that Donald Trump put us through this very hard time with COVID, and by gosh, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris brought us out of it to victory. I was like, what?
What are you talking
Dude caught
about?
it at the very end of his administration. What was he supposed to do with it? He wasn't in office. You were. You put businesses out of work. You put people out of work.
It was.
You put needle. Did you see the latest one about the what is it, monkeypox?
Oh yeah.
About how it's really a result. It's really a damn it. It's not gout. What's it called? You get the bumps and everything. Maybe it is gout, but basically caused by the boosters, the vaccine.
Well, I'm sure we're going to hear lots and lots more about it in the upcoming days, without any question.
Well, I saw what I was reading on it was actually the booster for COVID.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Not just any booster, but the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Is
Yeah.
weakening people's immune systems.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
saying.
if you haven't had a shot for COVID, guess what? You're not going to get monkeypox.
Nope. You are
Or
not.
no, you might if you're gay, but you know.
But other than that, you're probably not getting it since
Hey,
it's
I have not gotten one single shot.
negative. I'm going
And
for a solid
I will
pass.
not. I will be on the first boat to Russia before I do that. And I will shake Vlad's hand. Thank you, sir. What can I do for you in broadcasting? I'll green screen the hell. I'll put you in the middle of the Ukraine. You're going green screen. What do you want?
Perfect.
What you want me to do?
Our propaganda is way better.
Dude.
Trust us.
I will rock your world, Vlad.
Yes.
You want explosions? I got explosions. Let me put explosions
He's
here.
got all the
Let me
explosions.
put-
So, such weird stuff. Another big thing this week that we've got to address. Friday, RFK is speaking in the same town that Trump is having a giant rally. The prediction is RFK is going to drop out of the election and put his support behind Trump.
Trump has even said that he would be interested in giving him a position.
Ready for my prediction?
Health and Human Services.
Attorney General.
Ooh.
Because you want to clean out the DOJ? He hates the DOJ as much as Trump does.
Now, didn't his uncle?
Correct.
Oh, wait, no, that would be his
That would be his father.
father. Yes,
his
sorry.
father.
That would be his father.
Uh-huh.
He could avenge his father's death.
Wouldn't he make...
There was a lot of shady stuff on that one, too.
There's a lot of shady stuff.
He has announced several people for his transition team.
Uh-huh.
And one of them that he mentioned, and we talked about this last Saturday, was Linda McMahon, who he originally had heading the Small Business Administration. And she set everything up and then bowed out and did her thing. And he has announced her as part of the transition team.
Yes. Yes, he has.
Along with the boys, I think, his boys. Well, Junior and what's-her-face's husband.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And then you've got the ultimate beatdown position, which it's sounding like it's gonna, from what the talk around the world is. So obviously, we've all heard the thing where all right, you guys listen to the interview that 1 billion people have now listened to, which was Trump and Elon. 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go a step further, and it was toyed out there. I may have a position for Elon.
If he
Elon replied on X, I'm ready to serve. Government spending is what keeps coming up. A new cabinet position,
Dude, he would clear
which
that
he has
out.
the ability to create a new cabinet position.
Yeah.
And that new cabinet position is apparently to oversight government wasteful spending.
Now, he does not need approval to create a new position like that.
No. He
No.
doesn't need approval to create it. He just has to get them approved.
Correct.
On his cabinet.
Yes.
Dude, he would tear that place up.
So what they reasonably what they would do with that is they will confirm Elon for that position with the exception clause. And the exception clause is he is the one cabinet member that is not eligible for line of succession. That will be the only caveat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he would actually care. Go
No.
for it. I don't care about that. But remember, this is the guy who walked in to Twitter when he bought it with a sink
Yeah.
and then fired 80% of the people that work at Twitter. And has anybody noticed, is Twitter shut down?
Nope.
Is it still working?
Yep. And there's who was it? Was it China or Japan? One of them just said something about how if he doesn't limit what's on there, they're going to shut it down in their country.
That was Japan, I think.
Japan.
Yes.
You know, it's pretty bad when communist countries aren't even against free speech.
Yeah. Japan has threatened to shut him down in there. Venezuela has shut him down.
And I don't think it's hurt him.
No.
Because here's the thing. You get rid of 80% of the jobs, you've just eliminated a whole lot of overhead.
And then the European Union, this is really funny. They determined that X is highly dangerous for hate speech. Did anybody see Elon's response to that? Apparently, these guys have never heard of a VPN. It was funny. Like, that's all he wrote. They're like, oh, we're going to shut it down so people can't access it in this country, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, apparently these guys are so well educated they've never heard of a VPN. Congratulations. And then he killed somebody's government site. I don't remember whose Twitter page it was. I know he killed the UK's.
Yeah.
He killed theirs, but then he killed somebody else's
Yeah.
who was part of it. He was like, no, you're done. Goodbye. I thought it was hilarious. Did you guys happen to see where a hacker group has now got a hold of every social security number of every person living and dead in the United States?
Yeah.
Is that called the CIA?
We don't know who did it, but it was somebody. You know, if people are bored, we got Camilo running around talking about mandatory gun control. You know what that means. It's time for you to come down and see me at Black Flag Outfitters. I just got a crap load of all the guns in she wants to ban, and you need to come down and buy them. I also got some MP40s. If you've ever watched like old World War II movies, this is the gun that the Germans used, the 9mm submachine gun. This is the semi-automatic version, but I've got 2 of them if you're interested, as well as tons of ARs and auto shotguns and all kinds of just crazy stuff.
Is that a weapon of war that Tim
Absolutely.
That Tim used?
Yeah, it is the weapon of war that Tim used when he was busy prancing across the battlefield back home. Anyway, be sure to come by and come see what I've got. I'm at 203 Main Street. Be sure to find me out on Facebook at Black Flag Outfitters to see what the latest daily deal is. Come on down and get yourself some guns and ammo. That's what I got for that.
Yeah.
Smoking Butts Barbecue. They're one of our great supporting sponsors, and we really appreciate them each and every week. Check them out at smokingbuttsbbq.com. They have the best sauces, rubs, whatever it is you're looking for. Get it there. Always gluten-free, never in any MSG, and no high fructose corn syrup. It's really good sauce without all the crap in it. You know, the problem with a lot of that 99-cent sauce is it's just crap and some flavoring. It's just pure sugar and flavoring. Smoking Butt sauces are not that. So you should give them a try. Give their rubs a try on meat, vegetables, whatever. SmokingButtsBBQ.com. Place your orders now.
Before Kamala makes it illegal.
Yeah. I mean, she'll probably ban barbecue sauce. It's fun, so she'll probably ban it right after they ban smoking and gas grills.
Well, see, they'll ban it because what do people do at barbecues?
Have fun.
Well, they get together and they discuss hot topics.
Oh.
You know, that is one thing about going to a barbecue competition. Politics is not off the page.
Oh. Well, there you go. There's something new.
And you don't really find a lot of liberals out there.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it because we eat meat?
Oh, you don't have a smoked tofu competition? CT, you'd go to a smoked tofu competition, right?
To shoot it up. To throw everything over. I'd be like Jesus at the temple, man. Oh, toss this crap. What are you doing?
Well, you know, they say tofu is really good to use as ballistics gel, so that actually makes sense. Just
Really?
stack it all up
Yeah.
and shoot at it. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It has the consistency.
And they are
of-
putting that in their bodies.
It has the consistency of a human flesh.
Yeah.
Flesh.
So if you want to shoot something to see how your hollow point bullet reacts, tofu is a great choice.
Well, that's cheaper than ballistic gel.
Yeah, pretty much. Gross.
Ugh.
Ugh, right? The only thing that little tiny pieces of tofu is good in is miso soup, which is supposed to have little tiny pieces of tofu in it. I'm fine with that. But outside of that, I don't want tofu in my life. It's
You
gross.
don't want no tofurkey?
No, oh, dude, oh my gosh. I remember when all that crap became popular.
Remember?
Oh, it was so sick. Oh, but which, by the way, if you guys ever need a laugh, go to TikTok and look up vegan recipes. but find the ones where like famous chefs are responding to them. It's fantastic.
Oh, get Gordon Ramsay's.
Oh, it is so much fun to listen to because they're like, oh, well, that's a no, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. It is so much fun.
Yeah, did you see that one? I forgot what it was. He took a bite of it. That's on the internet. Oh no.
Yeah, because it was funny. Because at first you could tell he was going to be like, "This isn't bad," but it must have had some kind of aftertaste, and he was like, "No." I was a huge fan of that. Hey, remember, if you're out there watching us, you can be listening to us or watching us. If you haven't done so, jump over to rumble.com or download the Rumble app. Go to Traveling East Productions and find this show. Turn on the likes and notifications for Traveling East Productions, and then you can watch this great show, Not Politically Correct. You can also watch our other fantastic show, which is Morning Java. CT and I do that on Saturday mornings, as well as all of the other fun programming that we have out there, which is some pretty fun stuff. But you got to like it. You got to follow it,
man.
I believe the hay fever has got you, buddy.
Yeah, your face is red.
So much fun. What do you got? What else you guys got for the end of the week?
A doctor's appointment to try to get rid of this crap.
That's a pretty smart idea. I like that.
Real quick, Dodd, we have a couple of sponsors we need to thank.
Absolutely.
Also. So, if you would, sir.
Gladly. You know, if you are out and about looking at doing some new floor coverings or fixing up your house, making it look better, check out our friends Elliott Flooring in Troy. You can give them a call at 528-6334. They do the best flooring, laminate, linoleum, vinyl, whatever it is you want. They do countertops and backsplashes. Find them on Facebook at Elliott Flooring and go see the greatest cool stuff they do. They have the best service crews around. You will not be disappointed. When you wrap up with that, check out our friends Dave and Holly over at Safe Harbor Insurance Winfield. You can hunt them down. They will save you tons of money. They are brokers, and man, will they save you some money. There we go.
I went to Elliott, and I had them come over, and they took 6 different colors of fluorescent duct tape.
Yes.
And weaved it on my floor.
Oh, like you do a bacon taco shell.
Yeah, like a weave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it looks awesome.
No, they really didn't do that.
Oh.
But I'm sure they would.
Oh, I'm sure they would. They would love that.
Real quick, too, please, one big shout out to Blue Line Lawn Care as well for sticking around and being with us. 636-262-9486. Give them a call today. With that, we are getting close to getting out of here, buddy.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Well, see the old clock there on the...
Oh, yeah, it's what we see. How exciting. Well, be sure to come by, buy some smoker butts, come see me at the gun shop, etc., etc. I guess that's it. CT, give them the words.
Stay awake, not woke. And that's for you radio folk. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Stick around on the video. That's all I'm going to say. Well, I thought it was going on. No, it's not yet. So I guess they're still with us for a second.
Oh, well, that's cool.
It goes right at 8 o'clock.
Didn't used to. There it goes. It was 59:50. Now it's changed to 8.
Yeah, that's gone.
Anyhow, there we are.
Oh, perfect.
So, we're still on the video. Are we out of it? Are we ending?
I am.
Go ahead, Lee. You're good.
I stuck this long.
We appreciate it.
Hay fever is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
People don't realize how bad it can, they laugh at it.
Yep.
And then it'll get you.
Ragweed wasn't really that bad last year.
Yep. So, what else you want to talk about?
Oh, I
Since
don't know,
we're on
buddy.
the-
We can talk about anything we want to now that we're not on the...
We're not on the air, so let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man.
babbling. Well, we were talking before the show. We were talking about Kamala and her speeches, and
She's such a dumbass.
and I saw it written, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing that I read. It said, "She sounds like a 5th grader reading a book report on a book she never read."
Yes.
It's cold. You know it's cold outside when it's cold outside.
What an idiot. Like, really? That's where we're at.
But this is who they want. Why? I don't get it. One thing we didn't talk about, since we're talking about why I don't get it, and that's who they want, is during that there was 3 states that passed on the roll.
Yeah.
California, Minnesota, and I believe it was Virginia. I can't remember. Interesting.
That's kind of a big deal.
California, I didn't expect. I really, in all honesty, I didn't really expect any of them to pass. I figured it was going to go. So,
It's kind of weird. The whole thing that we're seeing, there's a lot of it that's just really, really weird right now. Between states going, yeah, we want her, and then here's my official take on this thing.
okay.
They're not going to confirm her as the candidate.
We talked about this.
Yeah. So basically what's going to happen is she has to get a certain number of delegates
Correct.
for her to actually get the nomination.
So, how many delegates does she have to have? Because 3 states can't make that much of a difference. Or do they?
The number of delegates is based on the population of the state.
Okay, so like electoral.
Right.
Same. Okay.
It's the same kind of thing. So they get together and they cast their votes for how many delegates each member represents.
Okay.
So you have so many state delegates. So let's say you have 50 state delegates and each delegate represents 20,000 people. Well, it doesn't take a lot of delegates before you don't have the majority in that state. So basically what can happen is she doesn't get selected. So they will take it to a vote. And then they'll vote it again. And then if it makes it to a third vote, well, congratulations. Now you have an open, where it's going to be open. And there's a pre-approved list of people that have put in that they would be interested in taking the nomination. Then you'll alphabetically go down that list to pull votes until it gets down to 2 people. And then you'll vote on those 2. This can take weeks.
So I'm just reading this. It says that Democratic presidential. No, it says California Democrats will send. Or California Democrats. Jeez, I couldn't get my words right. California Democrats send 496 delegates and 35 alternates to the Democratic National Convention.
Uh-huh. That's a lot.
So she needs 1,976 delegates to officially be named the Democratic nominee for president. So you have 496 gone from California,
Right.
not to mention, and then you add on top of that Minnesota and
Yep.
Virginia.
Yep.
But they are expecting California to deliver those delegates tonight.
We'll see.
But like we were talking before, they don't like her.
No.
They want Newsom.
They want Newsom. They hate her. Big time. And I think
So if they hold out, it's a done deal. She's not. It's going to go to nominations.
Yep.
Now that's when it's going to get interesting.
Uh-huh.
How many are approved nominations? You
Like
said like 50?
30.
30?
I believe that's the last number I heard, that there were 30 approved.
Is that approved by the committee? Okay.
Yeah, it's approved by the DNC. And it'll be interesting to see which way this goes. This is like tonight's going to be fireworks at the DNC. And that is going to be unbelievably interesting to see. Now, that could go one of two ways, realistically. Either they could not approve her and approve somebody even more radical than her, or they could attempt to approve somebody who's more of a moderate, which isn't going to happen. And then once they don't approve her, then the people who are in the running will get to come up and give speeches as to why they should be approved.
This was just released.
Ooh, what do you got?
Apparently, her proposed cabinet was leaked.
Oh, no.
So, what we have on there is they're talking about, for Secretary of State, Senator Chris Coons. For also Bill Burns, who is the CIA director, and current National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan are also on her short list to fill the Secretary of State role.
Ew.
For Harris's reported pick for the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Pete Buttigieg.
Ew. He's an idiot.
And then Eric Holder. He's reportedly the top candidate for Chief of Staff.
Oh, my.
Let's see. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. She appeared at one point as she's supposedly being looked at to oversee the Treasury Department. Attorney General says that she is considering Senator Doug Jones.
Well, that's about as left as you can get.
Of course, he was defeated in Alabama in the 2020 election for Tuberville. Considering Bank President Ray McGuire for Commerce Secretary. I'm trying to get to the main one I want. This whole thing was about, but apparently, Eric Holder, and is the big one that's on the list.
Wow.
So there you have that. That was leaked.
In addition, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has a good chance of being awarded a position in the Harris administration.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Wow. Wow. That is a terrible list.
Isn't it though? That's a scary list. And then I mean, we can go on or we can end it, but one of the last things that I saw right now was the whole Biden is under siege again, this time for millions of dollars that was obtained by him and his family. So we're back to the Biden crime family thing.
Wow.
And everything. There was 3 banks that obtained payroll numbers from the Biden-Harris It says 3 banks quietly obtained payroll numbers from Biden-Harris BLS by phone as it delayed posting job reports for 30 minutes due to technical issues.
Oh, really?
But that's when those million jobs showed up.
That's weird.
Isn't it?
No, that's not screwy. Why would that?
Why question that?
I'm sure it's just a technical issue.
So there you have it. That's
Wow.
so tonight. I guess it's going on now too. We're missing it, but I'll go back and catch some of the good stuff afterwards. But
Sorry, I see a breaking article here, and I just gotta see what it is. Just
Yep.
Talk about something for a second, because this looks
I'm looking
terrible.
at well, there's Elon Musk, of course. We already talked about that. Oh yeah, the 1 million jobs that vanished. That was the crazy one, and apparently her Commerce Secretary got fact checked on live TV.
What?
Yeah. The 818,000 jobs that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden claim to have created over the last year aren't actually there. Gina Raimondo, who is his Commerce Secretary, is the one that she lashed out at Trump and called him a liar. And after a reporter confronted her about the inflated job reports. So apparently Biden and Harris were cooking the books the whole time. Which you and I have been calling that for this whole time. We said that's what they were doing.
Yes, we have.
Non-farm payroll growth between April 2023 to March 2024 was revised down. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's what they said on Wednesday. It's 68,000 fewer jobs per month, 115,000 fewer manufacturing jobs, and 45,000 fewer construction jobs. It's the largest downward revision in 15 years.
That's big.
And that was an ABC reporter. Believe it or not.
So that means it's probably actually twice as bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She interviewed Raimondo today. So, yeah.
Well. Yeah, that's going to be quite a mess, to say the very least.
What did you find?
It was too far out there even for me to. It was a story from the Nuclear Energy Secretary from the current Harris administration explaining why they really need to use more DEI and quote queer ideology in the nuclear facilities to help encourage people to realize that nuclear power and nuclear weapons only are scary because white heterosexuals are in charge of them.
And yet, if you go over there and you look at the scientists, the people that work on them, they're German, they're East Asian, Indian, and so how does that work? And two, I thought you couldn't call them a DEI hire because that was not. You can't do that. That's mean.
Well, I guess it's okay as long as you're talking about why it's good.
But we can't call Harris a DEI hire.
Yeah, I know. I've only done it like 3 times today.
But isn't she a DEI hire?
She is.
Was it not stated by Biden himself
Yeah.
that he wanted a black female VP?
Yeah.
So that's a DEI hire.
Yep. Absolutely. What a
Hey,
weirdo.
more on this and more stories. Stick around with us. When I say stick around, I mean come back and see us on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. as actually about 9:06. And Dodd and I will be here for Morning Java. We'll drink some coffee, and we'll sit here with the hashtag Launch Codes of Truth.
Yeah, we will.
We haven't used that in a while
No, we haven't.
because everything we have said in the past, everything that everybody said that we were conspiracy theorists, has it not come true?
Every bit of it.
Well,
Here we are.
it is what it is, good sir.
Indeed.
So anyways,
See you Saturday, buddy.
I'll see you Saturday.
Good night,
Stay
everybody.
awake, not woke.